Welcome to Radiant Spirits Rising with your host, Heather Lena. Heather explores how natural healing can support your physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. She guides you on how to harness your inner power to overcome challenges, improve overall health, and strengthen your connection to your true self. Through grounding techniques, holistic remedies, and the transformative practice of energy balance, Heather offers practical insights to help you create harmony in mind, body, and spirit. So now, please welcome the host of Radiant Spirits Rising, Heather Lena.
Hey everybody, welcome to Radiant Spirits Rising with Heather Lena. How are you guys today? I am so excited about our topic for the day. We're going to be talking about divine code and hidden numbers. Now, before I go into about how this came about and why I'm so excited about this, I first want to do what we do every podcast, which is I want to set an intention for us, so that we are open and receiving to the messages that we're going to be receiving today, because this is another messages from across the veils. To talk about from the veil today from not only my team, but teams from others that I worked with over the weekend. So I want everybody to go ahead and close their eyes for me and start taking deep breaths in and out. Take another deep breath in and out. Let the peace just come over you. Breathe in and breathe out. And then we're going to focus on our heart space area. We're going to focus on lighting up that heart space area. So get it lit up. Let's open ourselves up. And we're going to accept the download of knowing and feeling of what it's like to be accepting of messages that we are receiving through different avenues, no matter what they are, and being comfortable with them and not being afraid of them and being willing to use them. And so then once you get your heart space lit up and you've accepted that download, go ahead and send that energy into your spinal area, into your chakras. Still take deep breaths in and out as you're doing this. We're sending that energy upward through the upper chakras and downward through the lower chakras. Taking another deep breath in and out. In and out. And then when you're ready, go ahead and open up your eyes for me. All right. I'm feeling like everybody's ready. So let's go ahead and get started. So last weekend, actually Friday and Saturday of last week, I attended the Winslow Psychic Fair. This is an event that is put on twice a year here in Winslow, Arizona. And as I was working with clients, I had several that came up and had questions about numbers that they had continually been seeing, right? And what the message was behind them. And I have a card deck that I just literally got like 2 months ago that is all about angel numbers and what the numbers meant. But what came to me through the readings that I did for the clients and through the spirits that were with me at the time that I was working with these clients was that many times we are receiving messages via numbers and we don't even realize it. And I can say that for a fact in my world, because when I was working out at the prison, when I had retired from the correctional series and gone back under the clerical series, I had started noticing that I was seeing 1-1 and 1-1-1 and 1-1-1-1. So 1-11 and 11-11 all the time. And I was seeing some 2-2-2s as well. And it just struck me as weird. And so I went in, and what do you do if you have a question? You went in and Google it, right? So I go in and Google the spiritual message, the messages of the 111 and the 1111. And what I got was basically off of Google was that it was about my spiritual journey. And so again, when I talk about how my spiritual journey started in 2017, but it really didn't start until later on when I started my business in 2021, from 2019 to 2021, I was seeing numbers consistently all the time. And so then I finally started investigating them. So after this weekend, I came to realize there are a lot of people that see a lot of these numbers and they don't understand that there is a message behind them, or the reason why they keep seeing this number, they just liken it to a coincidence. So the first thing I'm going to tell you is it's not a coincidence. If you are seeing multiple numbers multiple times, it's not a coincidence. There's a message in that. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So I liken these into two different areas. You have the angel numbers, and then you also have personal numbers. And I finally found out about a year or so ago, or realized about a year and a half ago, that I had what I'm likening as personal numbers. And I'm going to go ahead and get into that in a minute. But let's first talk about what are angel numbers. So they normally are sequential numbers that carry spiritual messages from the universe. Now, I say normally because the card deck that I have actually has numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 3. So if you're seeing numbers that consistently that may be like that, it could also be personal numbers, which we're going to talk about in a minute, and that may make sense. But they often are repeating, and you often see them numerous places so that they catch your attention, right? So I tell people all the time, if you're not listening to the messages your team's sending you, then they're going to send them to you in ways that you can see and understand. So if you have something weird happening in your world, that probably means that you're getting messages that you're not open up, or you're not receiving, or you're not understanding, and you need to start asking deeper questions. So each number has a vibrational energy that delivers insights into your life, your emotions, and your spiritual path. So just like I talked about me seeing the 111 and the 1111 while I worked at the prison. And honestly, when I worked out at the prison, the only time I saw them was when I was working out there. And so when I left there for a while, they stopped. And so when I start seeing sequential numbers now, I literally go in and I'm like, okay, what are they trying to tell me? What is the message that I'm receiving? And I have started receiving 111 and 1111 again, which means I am needing to push forward on my spiritual journey. That's the message for me. So if you're seeing some of these numbers as I go through these, see what resonates with you. Write it down. Get a piece of paper. Get a piece of paper really quick, right? And as I'm going through these numbers, if one resonates with you, write down the information and then go in and investigate it a little further. Figure out what it is that the message is trying to tell you. So what are personal numbers? Personal numbers are they frequently appear in an individual's life and hold deep personal significance. So unlike angel numbers that will show up when they're giving you a specific message, your personal numbers are universal messages, right? Ones that are unique to you and linked to your life path, your soul journey, and your spiritual growth. And I discovered I have like several personal numbers over the last several years as I started my spiritual journey. They may show up as part of your birth date, addresses, phone numbers, financial transactions, dreams, or even as angels numbers that resonate specifically with you. So the differences between angel numbers and personal numbers. Angel numbers are messages from angels and spirit guides in the universe. They carry spiritual guidance and insight. Personal numbers are unique recurring numbers in your life, and they have deep personal significance, often tied to a life path. So I'm going to talk about mine. that's what I'm going to talk about is mine. Okay. Angel numbers show up unexpectedly. So you may see them in clocks. You may see them in license plates. You may see them in receipts. You may see them however. Okay. Personal numbers, they show up in major life events and personal data. Mine tend to show up in personal data. So my numbers are 6, 8, 68, and 668. And I have started seeing 86 as well. And I actually did not pull the information on 86 because it didn't pop into my head till just before the show. And I got told, yeah, when you get done, you need to pull 86 and see what it says. Because I am starting to notice a pattern of 86 as well. So you notice how I said they were separate and then together. So I consistently have 6s and 8s show up in things that I see, things that I do. 68. 68 is a number that pops up together. It has popped up in my tax ID numbers. It has popped up in my son's phone number. It has popped up in several things. I had someone call me and say, something really happened. They were doing something for me and it said, they said, I had the number 68 pop up. And I go, oh, well, that means that that's a message for me and I need to do this. So go ahead and do it. Because 68 is one of my numbers. It's one of the ones I look for. 668 had recently been added to my group. I haven't been seeing that as long as I have the others, just like 86, 668, and 86 started about the same time. So let's talk about my personal numbers, and then we're going to go into the power of repeating numbers after that. So my personal number 6 represents love, nurturing, and healing. It represents compassion, balance, and family energy. And it signals a calling to provide healing and guidance to others. Kind of fits, huh? Appearing as a personal number 6 suggests someone is naturally drawn to nurturing roles, whether a healer, mentor, or caregiver, and encourages self-care, as those with 6 with a personal number may often give too much to others without replenishing their own energy. And I am guilty of that. So who's listening right now? Comment. Send me a comment if this number resonates with you right now. Say me. Type me in the comments, right? Me 6. So for me, what this does is this number reassures me that my path as an intuitive healer is aligned with my soul's purpose. And it also can remind me that I need to have self-care, which is really important. Personal number 8 for me represents financial success, karma, and personal empowerment. And it's often seen by those with entrepreneurial spirits or strong leadership qualities, which I will say I have both. When it appears as a personal number, it encourages financial and material stability while remaining spiritually balanced. Now, I see 6s a lot because this is an area that I struggle in. Okay. So because of the financial, which I've told you guys, I have a struggle with, I had a struggle with manifestation. When I really, really concentrate on it and really, really do what I tell others to do, I manifest great. When I don't, then it starts to go by the wayside. So it's interesting that right now I see 6 people on, which thank you for joining me today. But see, then again, and earlier I had 8. So now my goal is to get us up to 68. So like and share this so that we can move forward with my angel numbers and my personal numbers. All right. So what does the number 8 work for me? It reminds me to trust divine abundance and that my work will support both my life and my mission of healing others. And I will say that when I was working at the prison, I saw 8s a lot too, because it was trying to tell me that I would be okay, even though I was worried about the money situation. So, it's like you just have to trust what we're doing and what they're telling you. All right. So my personal number is 68. That is a blend of 6s and 8s, and it's a balance between material and spiritual growth. A blend of 6 nurturing energy and 8 success driven vibration. It represents the alignment of service and abundance, a sign that you can both be a spiritual guide and financially prosperous. So think about that a minute, right? You can be success driven and also be financially prosperous, which for me is a good thing to remember because that's what I want, right? What do you want? Do you want to be financially stable and successful? Think about it. I know I do. So, with that, is your number 68? Think about it. Okay. So, it represents encouraging and staying focused on goals while remaining connected to your higher purpose. And again, think about it. Are you needing that? For me, seeing 68 reminds me that my healing work is not only emotional fulfilling, but also something that can sustain my life path. So this number I did see a lot. I've seen it a lot since I was younger and since I started moving in this spiritual journey. And when I'm starting to struggle in this area, I go ahead and I look at that. And I think, and those 68 start popping up for me. And then I have to go back and rethink about it. And so the message for you guys is this. If you start seeing these numbers, write them down, log them down, and then go ahead and start investigating. Do your own research. Go into numerology. See what they stand for. See what they look about. Does it resonate with you? Take some time to actually look at the messages that you are receiving. So, personal number 668, financial and emotional healing. So, this is a powerful combination of spiritual service and material blessings. It encourages balancing, giving, and receiving, especially for those who are natural healers. So, if you are empathic, right, 668 would be a good personal number for you because it's a reminder that while you are here to help other people, you have to have balance for yourself. And I talk about this, I've talked about this in other podcasts, but ultimately, are you giving too much? Are you receiving too much? What are you doing? So this number for me reminds me that I need to trust that I am taken care of, both spiritually and financially, and that my healing work will create a life of fulfillment and abundance. And that is a message for me today, ladies and gents, because I am about to cry because that is high truth. And this has been something that I have been struggling with for the last couple of weeks. And I was reminded today, while I was doing this, and even today by someone else, that I needed to be able to trust and let go. So with that being said, we're going to take a quick break. When I come back, we're going to continue talking about angel numbers. See you in a minute.
Mike Zorek, a three-time California state champion in Greco-Roman wrestling at 114 pounds. Mike, blind since birth, was born in Hartford, Connecticut. He was a six-time national placer, including 2 seconds, 2/3, and 2/4. He also won the Veterans Folk-Style Wrestling twice at 152 pounds. In all these tournaments, he was the only blind competitor. Nancy Zorek, a creative spirit whose talents have taken her to the stage and into galleries and exhibitions in several states. Her father, a commercial artist who shared his instruments with his daughter and helped her fine-tune her natural abilities, influenced her decision to follow in his footsteps. Ms. Zorek has enjoyed a fruitful career doing what she loves. Listen Saturday mornings at 12 Eastern for the Nancy and Mike Show for heartwarming stories and interesting talk on the BBM Global Network.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of the Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on the Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Welcome back to Radiant Spirits Rising with Heather Lena. Today we are talking about the divine code and hidden numbers. So I just finished discussing my personal numbers. And as we go through, because I'm actually, towards the end of this podcast, I'm actually going to break down each number for you. So I would challenge that as I go through these, think about what you're seeing, what shows up a lot, log it down, and start doing some research and figuring out what are your personal numbers and what are messages that are being sent to you right now. What are you being guided to do by your spirit team, by the universe, in order to help you move forward with yourself and your life and your divine energy and all of that. All right. So the power of repeating numbers and what are angel numbers? So as I talked earlier, numbers can serve as confirmation, encouragement, and guidance from the universe. So if you're trying to figure out a problem and you say to yourself, man, I really wish I could figure out if this was right for me or not, and then you see 1111, that was your answer. Okay. So remember, if you're questioning something, say yes or no questions. I'm wondering, is this right for me? And then be open to receiving however that message is being sent to you. Okay. Is it being sent to you through a sign on the ground, through a song on the radio, through numbers? And many times I get my information through numbers. So if I'm struggling with something and I'm seeing these numbers, I'm like, okay, so this is what this is telling me. I need to go research this. So they can appear when we need questions answered, reassurance, direction, alignment with our soul's purpose. They can serve as a reminder of growth, healing, or when you need a shift in energy. Okay. So I have needed a shift in energy, and I had been seeing 6s and 8s and 1111s all over the place. And as I have started my shift of energy and started moving and doing things that I should have been doing a year ago, I am noticing that those numbers are less and less. Why? Because I am now shifting and I am doing what I'm being pulled and pushed to do. And so they don't need to send me those numbers because I'm in the process. Now, if I start to struggle, then I'll start seeing them again, because some of these projects I'm being sent in to do, they are still a little bit of a struggle for me. And so if I'm needing reassurance, then I'll start seeing 1111, which is one of the numbers that they send to me to tell me that I need to open up and pay attention to what I'm being told. So think about that. How are numbers affecting you? What are you seeing? Are you looking at them intently? That's the message. I keep getting this message. I keep getting that people need this message. That people are being sent messages and they're missing them. So where can you find these numbers? How can you recognize them? Some of the common places are on digital clocks, timestamps, and receipts. Phone numbers, like I talked about, right? My son's phone number has a 668 in it. License plates and addresses. Page numbers in books, transactions, and you may actually get numbers in your dreams. So when you're doing dreams, I always recommend when you're having dreams, as soon as you wake up, grab your dream journal and start logging your dreams. And if there were numbers that you saw in those dreams, write them down and investigate them, even if they don't appear to be angel numbers, because again, not all angel numbers. There's actually information in all numbers. So whether it's a continuing number, whether it's a single number, whether it's like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and somebody out there needs a 1, 2, 3, 4. So if that number resonates with you, go look it up, because somebody needs to look at that number. Do it, figure it out, because you're being sent the messages. So single digits hold foundational meaning. So if you see a single 6 or a single 8, like I do, it holds a foundational meaning. Let me talk right. Okay. Double digit amplifies the core message. So it will amplify the foundational message. Triple digit numbers signal spiritual guidance and transformation. So, and we're going to talk about a triple digit number that most people liken to be a negative, but in actuality, it is a positive. And if you know what that is, type it in the comments. Before I get to it, if you think you know what number I'm talking about, the triple digit number that everybody thinks is so bad, put it in the comments for me. Quadruple digit numbers affirm divine presence and support. So if you're seeing a 1111, that means that you have divine presence and support in whatever that area is. So when you see these numbers, you really need to immediately notice what you were thinking when you saw the number. What were you doing? What were you thinking about? What were you trying to do when you saw that number? Jot it down, because that's going to give you your answer. And if it doesn't give you your answer, at least you know they're trying to respond to you, and you need to figure out what that message is. Track the patterns in your life. Track how many times a day you see this number. How many times are you seeing it? How important is this message that they are sending to you that you see? I'm going to use 1111 because it's the one I'm seeing right now, because you see 1111 4 times a day. Right? So if you're seeing 1111 and you're seeing that multiple times a day, there's something that they're trying to tell you. Trust your inner knowing to interpret the significance of it. So what do I mean by that? I mean, if you're seeing this number, don't just pshaw it off. Realize, obviously, there's something going on and I need to pay attention to that. Because that's what I did when I first started following numbers and realizing what numbers were and what they did. Because I was constantly seeing it, and something inside me said, there is a reason why I am actually seeing these numbers like this. I should not be seeing these numbers like this, but I am. So why am I seeing it? So let's start breaking down. Let's break down some numbers. The first one we're going to do is we're going to do just the ones. We're going to start at 1 and we're going to go to 0. Okay. Number 1 represents independence, ambition, and leadership. That is your foundation. That is the foundation. Because remember, single numbers talk about foundation. Amplified, right? So 1111 is a spiritual wake-up call. So if you see 11:11, that is your spiritual wake-up call, and your manifestations are powerful, which is one of the messages that I've been getting. Okay. 111 reminds you to focus on your thoughts because they shape your reality. So how many of you are seeing 111? Say me in the comments. Me, 111. Okay. 1111 is a reminder that your angels are guiding you toward alignment with your higher self. So, angel number 1, that's an angel number. Okay. For me, that's the one that I see the most all the time. All right. Number 2, let's go. 22222222222. Harmony, balance, and partnership. So whereas number 1 was new beginnings, number 2 is about harmony, balance, and partnership. So a 2 represents intuition, relationships, and cooperation. 22 is a master builder number, encouraging faith in the journey. So if you are beginning your spiritual journey, right? So if you're seeing 1s and then you're seeing 2s, It's because you're being encouraged to go forth and have faith in your journey. And somebody needed to hear that. 222 is a sign of balance, patience, and trust, and your prayers are being answered. So if you are someone who is looking for an actual sign that your prayers are being answered or that you're being listened to, 1111 and 222 are going to be two of the numbers that you really want to look for. And that is because those are the numbers that they are going to send to you to tell you that you're not alone, that you're doing the right thing, that you need to have faith, that you need to follow your intuition. So all of those numbers are important. So if you've been asking, can I get a sign? What numbers are you seeing? Because I'm being told that there are people that are asking that and they don't feel like they're getting their answers. But you are. So 222 is a sign of balance, patience, and trust. So notice how trust comes up a lot with this as well. 2222 signals that your life is coming into harmony. Continue to move forward with faith. So if you're seeing 4 2s, that means you are on a journey and you need to be moving forward and continue forward. 222 is also going to be giving you information that you're not alone, that you have people with you, even though they may not be in this personal existence, but that you aren't moving forward alone. So that message is you are not moving forward alone. I just heard that in my head. You are not moving forward alone. You have someone with you at all times. So talk to them. Okay. So this is the message that I'm getting. As you see these numbers, stop and ask, who is sending me these messages? Why am I receiving these messages? And then stop and watch and listen. Listen to what you're being told, what you're being sent, how you're feeling, what you're seeing around you, what you're feeling around you. Okay. If you start seeing these numbers a lot, stop for a minute and go into a quick meditation, similar to what we do at the beginning of this show. And you can actually go into this meditation and ask for information as to why you're receiving these and see what you get. Do you feel something? Do you hear something? Do you see something? What is around you? What are you feeling around you? What are you getting? And no matter what pops into your head, trust that something in that they have said is probably somebody that's wanting to give you a message. And you just need to figure out what that message is and what to do with it. And that's the message from across the veil today, one of them. All right. So number 333, 333, 3333. Creativity, expression, and the divine connection. You know what? Before we start on the threes, I want to take a quick break. So we'll be back in just a minute and we'll get through the rest of these numbers. See you in a minute.
Dr. RC will share extraordinary resources and services that promote educational success, as well as making a difference in the lives of all social workers, as well as the lives of children, adolescents, and teens of today. She will have open discussions addressing many of the issues that we face about our youth and how being employed in the uniquely skilled profession of social work for over 18 years has taught invaluable lessons through her personal experiences. She will also provide real-life facts, examples, and personal stories that will confirm that why serving as a child advocate is extremely beneficial when addressing the needs of the whole child. Listen live to Dare to Soar, Saturdays, 10 a.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network, and tune in radio as Dr. RC will provide thought-provoking information that will empower, encourage, and strengthen students, families, and communities across our nation. You can also visit her at soarwithkatie.com. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them, rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
Welcome back to Radiant Spirits Rising with Heather Lena. Today we're talking about numbers and the divine code that's hidden in them. When we left, we were just getting ready to start the threes, which talk about creativity, expression, and divine connection. Excuse me. So 3 represents communication, joy, and self-expression. It is the 3-3 is a master teacher number, and it is linked to spiritual enlightenment. So 3-3 could be, even if you are like a teacher here in this existence, you may see 3s a lot. Okay. But it is also linked to spiritual enlightenment. 3-3-3 means that the ascended masters are guiding you to express your true self. It's all about creativity, creation, creating the life you want. And then the 4-3s amplifies creativity, divine guidance, and personal growth. So comment in the chat if you see 3s a lot. Put 3 me. Number 4, let's go into number 4, stability, foundation, and angelic protection. So 4 represents grounding, stability, and hard work. 4-4 reminds you to stay disciplined and focused on your goals. 4-4-4 is a strong confirmation that angels are protecting and guiding you. 4-4-4-4 signals that your foundation is solid and you are on the right path. So if you think 4 is your personal number, or you think 4 is a message that you've been getting, put in the comments what messages you've been getting, what numbers you've been getting. All right. 5-5-5-5-5-5-5-5. Change, freedom, and transformation. This is one that I saw quite a bit when I was first starting my spiritual journey. So 5 represents adaptability, adventure, and personal growth. 5-5 is a message to embrace change, and it is leading to something better. So along with the 1s and the 2s, when you start seeing 5s, those 3 I believe are linked together as part of your spiritual journey. So they bring you the message of moving forward, making the change, following your guides, right? 1 and 2 was the spiritual message, harmony, balance, and partnership. So 5 goes along with that. So many times I've had, when I did the readings on Saturday and Friday, people said to me, I saw, 111, 111, 222, 555. And that is because 555 really goes along with 1 and 2. And so, those 3 numbers are really about our spiritual journey, which honestly, all of us are being guided to start moving forward in our spiritual journey. And so if you're afraid to move forward in your spiritual journey, ask yourself why that is. Why are you afraid of your spiritual journey? And then if you can't figure that out, or even if you can figure it out, what are the blocks that are causing you to receive these messages consistently? So if you're consistently seeing these messages, what are the blocks that are causing you to have to receive these messages? And what do you need to do to clear that, to clear all of that? So at what point do you put value into yourself, right? If you go back to the podcast last week where we talked about making a personal investment in yourself and putting value into yourself, right? At what point do you take these messages and you say, you know what? It's time for me to start putting my personal value into me and moving forward in the healing process, the changing process, coaching process, removing blocks, whatever it is you need to do so that these numbers are no longer coming to you trying to tell you what you need to do, giving you guidance because you're doing it. And then your spirit guides can be like, okay, great. Until we go on to the next great adventure, we're there. Okay. So yeah, I'm telling you, these numbers are important. All right. I've already talked a little bit about 666 Okay. So 6 represents harmony in relationships and emotional healing, which for me is big and huge. 6 is a reminder to focus on self-care and nurturing connections. 668 signals financial healing and attracting abundance. Now, what did I miss? Right? Oh, yep, I skipped 666. Was that intentional? No. So while 666 is really believed to be a double number, it really is about balancing your material and your spiritual life. I see 666 a lot. And it's about balancing your material and spiritual life. It is not a negative number. In fact, it's probably an important number in the spiritual world, right? Because 6 is one of my numbers. 6 is maybe one of your numbers. And so why would 666 be different? It's been given a connotation of being bad, just like a black cat. So I'm going to liken it just to like a black cat. So black cats are not actually evil. Black cats are very spiritual, actually. Cats are spiritual animals anyway, but black cats really have a spirituality about them. And so it's been determined by someone who didn't want us really looking at them closely that black cats are bad and you need to not have them. You need to get rid of them. People kill them, people hurt them because they're supposed to be bad luck. When in actuality, they are none of that. Well, the number 6 and 666 is not that way either, but it's been given a negative connotation. So when I see that, I then stop and think, what is it that they are trying to stop people from receiving from a black cat or the number 666? What is so important that they are trying to get you to reframe it a different way? So if you want to use another example, let's go back to my dandelion podcast, right? Where a dandelion has been billed as a weed, when in actuality, it's a plant that is very useful. The whole thing is medicinal. It can be used for everything, right? And if you haven't seen that podcast, go back and watch the podcast about changing your viewpoint and dandelions, and you're going to get a whole different viewpoint on that. So the number 666 is no different. Now, if somebody's using it in a negative connotation, then yes, I would wholeheartedly agree with that. But if they're not, and you're seeing it, it doesn't mean that you're getting signs from the devil. It means that it's about balancing your material and your spiritual life. So don't freak out, just run with it. And that is one of your messages of the day. Okay, so number 7, spiritual growth and higher wisdom. So 7 represents inner wisdom, intuition, and enlightenment. 7 signals deep introspect and alignment with your soul's purpose. So if you're seeing 7s, you're needing to do some significant spiritual growth. 777 is a message of spiritual growth. You are on the right path. 7777 signals divine guidance and mastery of spirit lessons. So if you see 7777, you are on the right path of mastery of your spiritual lessons. Number 8, 88, 888, 8888. Abundance, success, and karma. So 8 represents financial success, confidence, and infinite possibilities. 88 is a reminder that abundance is flowing towards you. So number 8, remember 8 is like an infinity sign, right? No beginning, no end. Just goes like this. So the 8, so you want an infinity of abundance, you want an infinity of success, which again, 8 is one of my numbers. You're going to want to look for that. So are you seeing 8s? And the message is, if you're not seeing 8s, then what do you need to change? What do you need to change and shift so that you start seeing eights? What is the mindset that you need to shift? 8888 signifies financial blessings and career growth, which, makes me happy when I see it. So when I see eights, I'm like, yes, I will take the financial blessings and the career growth, right? Who else wants that? Say me in the comments if you want that. 8888 amplifies prosperity and alignment with your divine path. So again, one of my numbers is 8. That's one of my personal numbers. And it helps me amplify my prosperity and alignment. 999 999 999. Completion and letting go. Now, this number, I don't think I'm gonna have time to cover it today, but you also have we all have 9 personal years, and they start at 1 and they end at 9. And when you get to 9, it is a completion and letting go of the old. So if you're seeing 9s, what is it that you need to let go? So when we come back from the break, I'm going to finish talking about the 9s and the 0s. So I'll see you in a minute.
Mike Zoric, a 3-time California state champion in Greco-Roman wrestling at 114 pounds. Mike, blind since birth, was born in Hartford, Connecticut. He was a 6-time national placer, including 2 seconds, 2 thirds, and 2 fourths. He also won the Veterans Folk Style Wrestling twice at 152 pounds. In all these tournaments, he was the only blind competitor. Nancy Zoric, a creative spirit whose talents have taken her to the stage and into galleries and exhibitions in several states. Her father, a commercial artist who shared his instruments with his daughter and helped her fine-tune her natural abilities, influenced her decision to follow in his footsteps. Ms. Zoric has enjoyed a fruitful career doing what she loves. Listen Saturday mornings at 12 Eastern for the Nancy and Mike Show for heartwarming stories and interesting talk on the BBM Global Network.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of the Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on the Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Welcome back to Radiant Spirits Rising with Heather Lena. Today we are talking all about the codes and divine messages in numbers. When we left, we were talking about the number 9, and it's showing a completion and letting go, as well as 9 is your personal year. 9 is also a year of completion and letting go. So 9 represents endings, transformation, and wisdom gained from experiences and the gratitude from that. 9 signals that something in your life is completing to make room for new growth. 999 means you are closing a chapter and stepping into your higher self. And 49 amplifies the call to release what no longer serves you. And actually, guys, I'm going to tell you today that the message 9999 is to release everything that no longer serves you. Okay. Number 0, 0, 0, and then 3 zeros, 4 zeros. Divine connection and infinite potential. So when you see zeros all the time, it represents oneness with the universe and limitless possibilities. 2 zeros is a reminder to connect with your spiritual truth. 3 zeros signals a divine reset, trust in the infinite nature of existence. And I feel like 00 is a message for us today to connect with our spiritual truth and our inner truth. And 4 zeros emphasizes the presence of source energy in your life. So How many of those numbers resonate with you? How many of you are saying, man, I see this number a lot, or that like really follows what I've been feeling? If you are, put a comment in the comment section and let me know what numbers are resonating with you. I'd love to hear from you. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the PowerPoint. We're first going to talk about the affirmation of the week. So our affirmation today is, today I choose to accept all blessings given to me. So just like with the numbers, numbers will also send us messages about blessings that we are receiving or that we should be receiving, or messages as to why we are not receiving blessings. So we are being reminded to accept all blessings that are being sent to you. And if you're not seeing them, then start looking for numbers and find why. Next slide. So our service spotlight of this week is in the Intuitive Psychic Medium readings. It is a 30-minute, 1-hour session available. Next slide, please. So what I do in this session is I connect with divine guidance and receive messages from the spirit world for you. With my deep connection to the universe, I bridge the gap. And we had some great readings this week at the psychic fair, and we got some great information from it. We got guidance for people on how they start their healing journey, where they needed to go, what we needed to do. I was able to get past a block that someone had and give them information. And so, you know what? Book your reading with me. They are 30-minute or 1-hour sessions that are available. I do have sessions available this week and next week as well. So book it. Use the QR code to go book your session now. You are not going to regret it. Next slide. So for my weekly special, I'm offering a 10% off a 1-hour medium psychic reading using promo code READ10 when you book. So you can click on the link or you can scan the QR code in order to book your appointment. Now, appointments must be booked in March or April. They are non-refundable. A non-refundable deposit is required at the time of booking, and you have to enter that code READ10 when you book in order to receive the discount. But you know what? Come on, come see me, come book that appointment. Make that personal investment of your time and your money and your energy to get some guidance and see where you need to go and how you need to move forward. Next slide. Again, I am offering to everyone to subscribe to my webpage and receive my free ebook. It is called Awaken Your Light, a holistic guide to healing, empowerment, and self-discovery. Next slide, please. So this is a $25 value that you get for free just by scanning that QR code or going to heatherlena.com/ebook. You enter your name, your phone number, your email address, and you agree to subscribe to my emails, and you get this free $25 value. You know what, guys? It's a great value. It's a great book. It gives a lot of great insight into a healing journey. And yeah, you can't beat the price. Free. Go sign up for it today. Next slide. All right. I talked about this last week. My transformational community is shifting as of next Tuesday. This $30 offer will no longer be available. If you sign, well, it will be, but it'll be changed. So the $30 offer is actually going to be changing. And so if you want everything that's listed on this slide, the personal card pulls, the crystal card pulls, the pendulum readings, all of that, if you want all of that for this price of $30, then you need to sign up before March 31st. So before next Monday. You can go to patreon.com/c/healing with Heather Lena or scan the QR code that's on the slide to sign up today. When you sign up, you will be given the opportunity to actually carry that price over through December of 2025 if you sign up by March 31st. Don't miss it. Next slide. Are you watching me on my YouTube channel today? If not, go to my YouTube channel and subscribe, and you can watch me live on my YouTube channel. All of my podcasts are put on there. So this is a great way to watch me. If you are streaming on something like Spotify, go to youtube.com/@healingwithheatherlena/streams in order to hear me on my YouTube page. You know what, guys, when you go into my YouTube page, do me a big favor. Like those videos for me. It really helps with my algorithms when you guys will actually just hit the like button for me. Next slide. How do you contact me? So if you have questions for the podcast, you can send them to healingwithheatherlena@gmail.com. Otherwise, you can send me request other information on heatherlena.com or contact@heatherlena.com. Find me on Facebook, Instagram at Healing with Heather Lena. Next slide. And remember, you need to trust the signs from the universe and embrace the divine guidance that is always available to you. So, part of those signs, those numbers. So, this week, my challenge to you is log those numbers that you see and start investigating them. And with that being said, that's the end of the show for today. Thank you for joining me so much. I will see you guys next week here on Tuesday at Radiant Spirits Rising with Heather Lena. Thanks for joining me today. Talk to you soon.
This has been Radiant Spirits Rising with your host, Heather Lena. Tune in each week as we step into the world of natural healing and discover the radiant spirit within you. Tuesdays, 3 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave TV network, powered by B2 Studios. Start your journey toward balance and renewal.